Hey, hello, and
Welcome.
welcome back to the 2020 Spooptober Pastathon.
We're going to scare your socks off. Okay, that was weird.
A little bit. We're doing some more, like, internet and computer-based creepypastas because we ended up just kind of getting stuck on one. But we're gonna hopefully be able to do a few more. Hopefully. Yeah. So, we are, links to all of these are going to be in the description, of course. We're going to be starting with an interesting one, because I remember hearing about this one a while back.
If I remember correctly, this is one you've been wanting to file, isn't it?
Yeah, this has been one that's just been like, this is an interesting one. Wait, did it remove, like, okay, I guess we're going to notice, I'm going to notice anyway, if a certain thing has been removed. But this one, did I say the name?
No,
No.
You haven't said it. I interrupted you. Sorry about that.
Normal porn for normal people. But yeah, so basically, like a lot of these internet and I guess computers and internet have been lumped together. So this would be the thing of found a laptop like in the garbage that seemed perfectly fine, so I stole it. And then when I looked inside, it was like some incriminating shit. That is an actual thing that has happened in real life. Or ended up coming across a strange website that had some weird shit on it that like kind of freaked me the fuck out, or came across a haunted YouTube channel or shit like that. Because the internet is very much something that we have all gotten rather acquainted with in the past 9 months, haven't we?
I suppose so. It's been longer than that, but okay.
Well, after all, not a lot of people have been able to leave their house as of late. Or are you referring to the fact that this is going up in October and technically the 10th month then?
No, internet's been around for a lot longer than 9 months. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying that people have gotten a lot more intimate with it recently, being as it has been people's primary way of socialization a lot more frequently in the past year. That's what I was referring to, Tom.
Okay.
Anyway. But yeah, so there is like some not safe for work stuff in this one, which I'd be kind of concerned if that wasn't the case in a creepypasta that's supposed to be, spoopy. And don't get me started on the Dead Man's Float episode of fucking Are You Afraid of the Dark? That shit was terrifying. Anyway.
Water.
Have you not seen that one?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
The whole thing, like, they throw, like, some red dye into the pool because, like, the whole thing that's been, like, drowning people has been, was invisible. And it fucking, like, soaks into the ghost, and so you just have, like, this, like, blood red, like, decaying skeleton just, like, come out of a fucking public pool. He's like, thanks. I didn't need to sleep.
Yeah, scary stories. The scariest stories you can tell in the dark. The only real exposure I've had to it was a couple of books that my cousin had that I read when I was little, and I had nightmares, so that was fun.
Yeah, I'm referring to the Canadian TV show because apparently all of the horror anthologies were done by Canada.
Oh, Canada.
We stand on guard for the Crypt Keeper.
Why do you need to stand on guard for him? He can take care of himself, probably.
Because he's quite the killer host.
Anywho.
It's not that they're guarding him. It's that they're being guarded from him. Anyway. Everyone knows that if you surf the web long enough, you'll see some pretty sick shit. This is especially true if you intentionally dwell into the dark underbelly of the internet. I've seen quite a few things that I don't quite care to admit to, but one of the things I'll always remember is a site called normalpornfornormalpeople.com.
Oh, this is Ever like searched like just when you were younger, like, oh, let's go to this one website. Maybe there's one about like I don't fucking know, but you type in something and it's completely different than what you're expecting. uh,
I've ended up having like situations like that back when I was on DeviantArt of like, hey, let's search this thing. Oh, this is just a bunch of fetish art. This is the exact opposite of what I was looking for. Anyway, if you're done taunting Ichitan.
The first strange thing about the site was that I didn't find it by actually looking for it. It was emailed to me by someone I didn't know. The email was as follows. Should I read that, or do you want to read that?
I'll read it.
Okay.
Hey, customer service voice. Hey there. Found this very nice site you might like. Normalpornfornormalpeople.com. Pass it on for the good of humanity.
Pretty standard issue chain letter, although the URL and mark really piqued my curiosity. I was having a very boring day when I made sure my antivirus was working, and then I clicked on it.
Always got to make sure your antivirus is up to snuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very average, very generic-looking site. It gave the impression that the creators just barely gave a shit about making it look professional. The author seemed to have a tenuous grasp on English, and the front page was a long, boring, and incoherent rant that I don't remember or have saved.
The site had a strange tagline, which even today people haven't figured out the meaning of, which was "Normal Porn for Normal People," a website dedicated to the eradication of abnormal sexuality.
I feel called out. From the sound of that, I wasn't sure I was here to watch porn or had stumbled onto some kind of eugenics program. Yeah. And I was here now, and I was very, very curious to see what normal people get their rocks off to. Ah! Human music. I like it.
I wish the fan base wasn't so cancer.
Yes.
So I clicked one. Oops, sorry, you weren't finished.
So I scrolled down through the rant and nothing. Page didn't seem to link to anywhere else, and I was just about to leave when I noticed every word of the rant was its own hyperlink.
So I clicked one of them and was sent to a white page with a very long list of links in the form of normalpornfornormalpeople.com/random letters.
So I stopped for a minute and asked myself if I really wanted to waste God knows how much time clicking through links that will give me a virus that will rape my computer. I figured I'd just try it for maybe 5 minutes, just to see if anything came up. I clicked one of the links and was sent to another page. The page had apparently had totally different URLs from the last one.
I was just about to say fuck this when I clicked on the third link and a video download came up. It was called peanut.avi. It was a 30-minute video of a man, a woman, and a dog in a kitchen. The woman would make a peanut butter sandwich and the man would set it down for the dog to eat. That was all that happened for 30 minutes. It was obvious that the cameraman had to stop filming and wait until the dog was ready to eat again, and the dog seemed rather sick by the end of it. Oh.
Okay, so they didn't cut that part out. Because at the beginning there was a mention that the admin had cut, apparently a few mentions of animal abuse out. Okay. I wasn't sure if overfeeding the dog would be listed under that.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. What the hell does this have to do with porn? I have no clue. I've seen a little over 24 videos from this site, and the majority have no sexual activity at all.
After watching Peanut.avi, I went on a certain image board I frequent to play online show and tell, like I always do with weird shit like this. But someone had already made a thread about it. Some guy who had received the same chain letter I did. The image board thread got lots of people with nothing better to do than to dig through the site, and that's why I saw all the other videos. Sorry. Oh, that's your line.
Sorry. Yeah, I was going to say, that actually, again, like, good Creepypasta does the whole thing of, okay, this actually kind of gets me feeling that this is somewhat believable. going to like different image boards and such like that. Like stuff like that, like you introduce them to something that's like, hey, what the hell is this? That can end up like getting them off on like hunts and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is like a unbelievable kind of situation. Honestly.
Yeah, a little bit. This is
Like
this seems like something that's like, oh, this is definitely something we could have stumbled across.
yeah. Let's see. Most of those 2 dozen videos were very uneventful. Consisted of people talking to a cameraman in a room with nothing in it but a desk and a few chairs. I mean, literally nothing on the walls or in terms of furniture. The whole room had a very cold, sterile feel to it.
Ah, like a
Stop
hospital room.
making dad bot dab. Dad bots. My 2 dads are dabbing.
No.
My 4 dads are dabbing.
The conversations were just idle banter about previous jobs or embarrassing childhood moments. I kept expecting some kind of discussion about what the people were filming or what the site was about, but of course, nothing. You'd never know these videos had anything to do with porn if you saw it out of context. I will say one thing, though. The people who appeared in these videos were quite attractive.
As most people are. Right?
Eh.
Oh, most people are. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that I'd sleep with most people. It's just like, yeah, most people are attractive. That's just kind of what happens whenever people have sex with attractive people. Like, the population tends to get more and more attractive as time goes on. You ever seen, like, portraits of people from the medieval era that would have, like titles of, like, the handsome or shit like that?
I believe so, yes.
And, like, it's like, how?
Hmm.
That sort of thing. But, yeah. However, the other videos that actually did feature content, which I suppose could be called sexual, is where things got weird. Yeah, the world of kink is a weird, scary place to some.
I'll give brief descriptions of the stranger videos. If you're really eaten up with curiosity, you can try to hunt them down on a torrent site.
LickedClean.avi. 10-minute video filmed by a hidden camera in which we can see a repairman working on a washing machine for the first 2 minutes. When it's fixed, the repairman goes to the owner briefly and then leaves. The owner checks to make sure the repairman is gone, and then he begins to lick all over the top of the washing machine. Sorry, I think I just threw up in my mouth a little. This goes on for 7 minutes.
That's a long time to lick a washing machine.
I could lick a washing machine for hours.
Yeah, make sure to get all that lint off of it.
Yes, that was a reference to Nicolas Cage. I could eat a peach for hours.
Jimbo.avi. A 5-minute video of an obese mime performing his act. It was actually pretty funny, particularly one part where he pretends to pull up a chair, then pretends that it breaks because of his weight. In the last 30 seconds of the video, the camera cuts to static briefly and cuts back to the man sobbing quietly, still wearing mime outfit and makeup. Some kind of obscure fetish?
Well, yes, but this is a bit weird.
That is a bit weird.
Mine's put in a lot of fucking work. I know Unis Honest did like a whole video on like in which they actually like trained with the mime, or like did some like base training with a mime, and that shit is interesting. Like, I do suggest watching that video because it was like an interesting thing of like the work that goes into being a mime. Can you hear me, Tom?
Yeah, I can hear you. It seems interesting. Sorry, I'm needling Ichitan.
Yeah, I saw. Anyway, we have dead air now.
Yes.
Diana.
read. Yeah, that's your line.
Because I read Jimbo.
No, I read Jimbo.
No, I read Jimbo. Wait,
No,
no,
I
you
read.
read Jimbo.
Mm-hmm.
Diana.avi. 4-minute video in which the cameraman talks to a woman in a different room from the interview room. The room looks like... ask a stupid question. Or make a stupid statement. Looks like one you'd find in a normal person's house. Almost like a normal person who watches normal porn. Exactly
He
where
said the
they
thing.
are is never specified, as Diana only talks about her violin playing. She obviously plays her violin, but she keeps being distracted by something.
I didn't notice this until someone on the image board thread pointed it out, but if you look at the mirror in the background, you can see a fat man in a chicken mask masturbating.
That would do it.
Okay, then. Are you Richard from freaking Hotline Miami?
I'm trying to play the violin. Like, that would fucking do it. Jessica.avi. Another 4-minute cameraman video. This time he's outside a house talking to another young woman. They talk about canoe rides. The camera zooms out to reveal the city streets behind them occasionally.
Just a city boy, born and raised in
South Detroit.
Okay.
Took the midnight train going anywhere.
The strange thing is, no one so far has been able to identify where the street is. Guesses have ranged everywhere from Europe to Australia to the Philippines, but there's yet to be a match for the street shown in the video.
That's a bit weird.
It's probably Vienna.
Tonguetied.avi. 10-minute video. The first 5 minutes consist of an elderly woman making out with a mannequin.
Okay.
Now that's definitely a fetish. The video cuts out like it did in Jimbo.avi halfway through, and the scene is now a group of mannequins held together in a circle around the camera. I hate that. The lights have been dimmed and the elderly woman is nowhere to be seen. From this point on, there is no sound.
Stumps.avi. 5-minute long video where a man with breakdance on a DDR mat in what looks like the kitchen from Peanut.avi, but much dirtier. There's a radio playing music unseen in the background, but it stops at the 4-minute mark when the man collapses on the mat in exhaustion.
That makes me uncomfortable. He breathes heavily and pleads with someone off screen to let him rest. The off-screen person becomes terrifyingly angry and yells at him to keep dancing, which he does. You can hear this off-screen person begin to scream as the video ends abruptly.
Privacy.avi. The woman from Diana.avi is masturbating on a mattress in the interview room, while the man from Stumps.avi walks around on his hands while wearing some kind of goblin mask. The door in this room is always closed in the other videos, but now it's open. In this video, the only light is in the video, the only light is in the room, and the hallway is dark. Near the end of the video, you can see an animal quickly run through the hallway. And finally, the last video we uncovered.
Useless.avi. In this 18-minute video, a blonde woman from one of the previous interview videos is tied down to a mattress in the interview room. She attempts to scream, but her mouth is taped over. After 7 minutes, a man in a black suit and mask opens up the door, but he does not enter.
He holds the door open for the animal that was in the previous video. It's revealed to be an adult chimpanzee. Its hair shaved and its entire body painted red. I don't like where this is going.
Wait a minute. This is written by Cosby Duff.
Who's that?
The same guy who wrote the Godzilla NES Creepypasta.
Oh, okay.
Holy shit.
Wow.
I didn't see that till I got to the bottom.
That's...
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, it fucking hits.
Mm-hmm.
When the chimp enters the room, the masked man closes the door behind it. The chimp sniffs the air for a moment. It may have been blind, and notices the woman tied to the mattress. It goes into a frenzy and begins to maul her.
The assault goes on for a grueling 7 minutes until the woman finally dies. The chimp eats flesh from her corpse for 4 minutes as the video ends.
That one fucking. You see, that's the thing I distinctly remember, because like fucking chimps can rip you to fucking shreds.
Yeah.
And so it didn't need to go into detail, but I could fucking picture it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I guarantee you that if it had gone into detail, it would not have hit as hard.
Yeah.
Because
No,
it
this is a prime example
that
of
is
less
like
is more.
it is a visceral image in my head of this thing, and it is just
You don't need to go into gory detail of every little thing happening. Like when it comes to stuff, just say, "Oh, this it begins to maul her." That's all you need to say, because just the word maul just brings just a very
like
primal image to mind anyway.
Okay, did you hear about like that whole thing of that woman who was like mauled by a friend's pet chimpanzee or some shit?
No, I don't think I did.
One of the things that always haunts me, and I kind of feel like shit for, but like the woman, it primarily attacked her face.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman had to get reconstructive surgery, and just
Mm-hmm.
the fucking image of her face after all that has always like stuck with me.
Reconstructive surgery is never as good as like.
It's not even that. It's literally like, because like she lost like at least one of her eyes, and so that's just like completely skinned over. Like it's like it's like they repaired what they could, but it is just like most of her fucking face is missing, and it is always like I feel bad that fucks with me so much, but it is just like
if it fucks with you, it fucks with you. Nothing to be ashamed of.
Every time I've seen that like thing of like every time I've seen like something covering that whole incident, like stuff about like people getting mauled by their own pets or shit like that, or like the dangers of owning exotic animals. Shit.
Yeah,
like that one always comes up, and like half the time they show that image, and it is just like it's you. I think it's usually like one of them, like from an interview she did, and it is always just like so like. That is the immediate thing that pops into my head. And it is... like, because, like, that's an actual person, and that's why I feel bad saying that.
Oh, yeah, no, I typed it in so you wouldn't have to look it up and everything, because I was curious to see what it looked like, and seeing her face, no.
And it's like, I feel like shit, because that is an actual person, like, but at the same time, it is just...
again, dude, if it fucks with you, it fucks with you. That's just some primal instinct that you can't ignore.
Yeah, but, like, I feel bad, like, I feel bad because, again, it's an actual person, so the fact that, like, I know it's a person behind that. I know she's a person. And that's why I, like, feel like shit whenever I have that reaction. So it's that reaction, then just, like, the compounding, like, I feel like an asshole. Like, after that, that just kind of, like, mixes into, like, this, like, shock dread cycle.
Well, I mean,
is the best way I can put it.
Back in the town I work that I used to live in, I worked at a Walmart, and there was a guy who came in, and it was fucking disgusting. Like
guy that came in and what? You cut out.
I worked at Walmart. There's a guy who would come in every now and then, and he had no nose, and it was fucking disgusting. And it's like, it's just something
was it just like a skull-like hole or what?
Kind of, but like it. I didn't look at it for long just because it was hard to look at, and I didn't want to stare. But like I'd catch glimpses out of the corner of my eye. It was kind of like reddish, kind of like in a certain way, like flushed skin. But it was also like the exposed sinuses and everything. And it's like the main thing that was in my head is like, okay, I that's you should probably get a fake nose, bud. Like, it might help you breathe better for one, and
Don't think it would, but
well, it would help from infection getting in, maybe. But like, yeah, no, it's just one of those
infection
things.
probably, yeah. But
hmm It's just one of
I
those
don't,
things. It's like it's like ugh, it just sends shivers down my
yeah,
spine. It's something I can't really explain. I'm not gonna feel bad for just a feeling I have.
I don't. It's kind of like the whole thing of like that was the fucking point of the Elephant Man
Hmm.
movie. It was no, there is a person behind that, and so it's one of
Hmm.
those things of like if it's something that a person did, I'm not gonna feel as bad for them, like judging them depending on the circumstances that led to that. But
Hmm.
if it's just like either this person was like born deformed or something happened to them that caused that, it's one of those things of like, no, I feel bad like having that visceral reaction because like imagine like something like that was the case with you.
Hmm.
Like imagine something happened that like completely fucked up your face and people started having that sort of reaction to seeing you.
Nah,
Like
I'd probably have
that
the
would
same
send me in
reaction looking in the mirror.
that would yeah, like that's the whole thing. Like that would send a person into a fucking depressive spiral.
Hmm.
Like that's the kind of thing of like I don't want to fucking contribute to that. I don't want to feel that I have just like made this person's like day worse because of that. Or like honestly, it's not even that. It's just the fact that like this like sure, I have to see this for 5 seconds. But this person has to deal with this every day of their life.
Hmm.
That's why like I feel bad. Like again, like
I
for
mean,
me it's just like no, this is basic human empathy. Like
well, it's a testament to the strength of a person. Yeah, they have to live with that face, but they survived and they're continuing on with it, like despite like different looks and stuff. That's something worthy of respect. And at the same time, uh, it's I granted I just saw a thumbnail and I didn't see it like up close and personal, and I could kind of see where it was coming from, but like at the same time, it's like, yeah, that's one of those things. Like, I'm not gonna. If I was talking to that person, I probably wouldn't look directly at their face, and I'm sorry that I I'm sorry that I do that. But like, eh, not much I can do with that, unfortunately.
anyway. The thread exploded with activity after this video was uncovered, and people discussed it long into the night. When I came back to the image board the next day, I thought that the thread was deleted. I tried to start another one and they banned me. I tried emailing the guy who sent the chain letter with the site's URL and sent him 5 messages and sent him 5 messages, never got a response.
I've tried to discuss this website on various places, and I got banned free. The site itself was also deleted about 3 days after useless.avi was uncovered, likely because someone contacted the authorities about it.
I mean, I guarantee that it would have got put up on live leaks.
Hmm.
The only proof that normalpornfornormalpeople.com ever existed was a few screen caps people took, and videos from the site that got saved and uploaded on torrents. The most popular of which being useless.avi, which found its way onto a few gore sites. Yeah, like LiveLeak would likely have that.
Wherever you upload them to, all of the videos from normalpornfornormalpeople.com got deleted after a while. Yeah,
You
no, that's
fucking
one of
knocked it out of the park again, Cosby Def. Like again,
yeah,
like that's
that's
it's simple.
it's simple and it feels believable because it's not too
Yeah,
much, but
yeah,
it's not like just nothing. And it's like the I don't know. That's just a sign of a good writer, in my opinion. Like that's
yeah.
just really interesting.
Like your fucking NES Godzilla creepypasta is also good, but yeah.
Hmm.
What was the other one you said?
Strawman was the one that I was thinking of.
Strawman?
Yeah,
Like
it
the
was
image catch your eye? Or okay, let's go to the next page then.
little bit. It's just like, oh, Strawman. That's an interesting name. Let's check it out. Okay, I'm looking at this, and
Is it long?
it's not. It's real short, but eh, I don't know.
I saw one that was straight up titled Schizophrenic, which me.
Yeah. Now I'm looking at this, and it's looking like it's gonna be probably a not very well written one, but I don't know. So why don't we dive straight into this?
I just saw the fucking. Cool. All right. Let's get down to the bottom. Written by Julie 97.
July 97.
July 97. Top comment is that ending awesome. This is a short one.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. I'm guessing it's probably supposed to be like a child's drawing or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
3 days ago, I received an email from a friend of mine, Brendan Ledgerwood.
Yes, I am Brendan Ledgerwood. This is my friend, real man, cool guy.
So that might be up there with Anastasia Steele for really fake sounding names.
Mm-hmm.
Like fucking hell.
Gonna look quick.
What?
I'm gonna look up the name real quick just to see if it's an actual. There's an actual. Okay, there's a Canadian soccer player named Ledgerwood. It's a Scottish habitational name from a place so named in Berwickshire. Okay.
Brendan doesn't sound real with it, though, is the thing.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole thing, like, certain people do have the last name Steele. Anastasia Steele, though, sounds like a fake name.
Mm-hmm.
Just like someone named Ledgerwood. Not necessarily fake sounding. Brendan Ledgerwood.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of sus.
Brendan Ledgerwood. Wizard extraordinaire. Magic for the price. I'm gonna name the character.
Gotten
Brendan
a lot of
Ledgerwood
emails.
Now.
Okay. Gotten a lot of emails from him, but nothing quite like this. He told me about a nightmare he had. Rather than tell you, I'll just paste in the email. I guess that's one way to do it, yeah?
Sure. Hey, Ash. Oh, your name is Ash. Okay. I need to talk to someone. I think I'm going crazy. I had a nightmare. I don't know where to start. I can't remember how it started. It just doesn't make sense. It started out with me at some huge house. I remember there was a line of people. It was weird because in the front row there were chickens. In the second row there were people crouching. And in the third row there were people standing up. In the fourth row and then on, people got taller and taller. And I was in a tank firing eggs at them.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right for a dream.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Next thing I remember is me with my brothers. I can't remember what they were doing. All I remember is I saw a flight of stairs. Thinking that I would be playing a joke on them, I slipped away up the stairs. When I got to the top of the stairs, there was a hallway. The hallway was surreal with architecture you only see in Tim Burton movies. I entered the room and saw there was a wall with stairs leading up to it. The stairs covered the entire wall all the way across. Oop. Oh, sorry. There we go. Anyway, even when she's not here, she still manages to cause me to derail. I entered the room. I saw there was a wall with stairs leading up to it. The stairs covered the entire wall all the way across. At the top, there was a 5-foot-tall gap in the wall. I climbed the stairs to the 5-foot gap. When I got to it, I fell through to a room on the other side. The room was dark and unfinished, insulation on the floor, ratty, half-assed wallpaper job. I noted something scratched into a piece of wallpaper. Forgive thy sins.
In the room, there was yet another door. I entered the room. It was huge. The room was huge. I only noticed this now, but the room was light. It was the kind of light you see just before dark. There were no light fixtures or windows. And then it's as if my brain flicked on the nightmare button, and I felt the need to get out of there. But there was no door. I sat there pulling out the insulation and busting the drywall when I looked behind me. Behind me were cardboard cutouts of my family. They were perfect. You know how in dreams when you see a close friend or family member, they never really look like them. You just perceive them as the person in question. They weren't like that. They were perfect. My mom, my dad, my sister, and my 2 brothers. I picked up my mom's cutout. I wiped the face off. It scrubbed off like wet paint. I gazed at it for a moment, and then I shifted it out of my view, only to notice a very small door at the end of the room, maybe 900 feet away from me. It wasn't there before. I watched as it slowly opened. Something started to crawl out.
Well, that's a interesting situation. I frantically started busting out the drywall. When I looked back, this thing was standing just watching me. It was a scarecrow, sort of straw man. That moment I flipped out, closing my eyes in sure disbelief. Only to open them and find he wasn't there. Then I heard a voice. I didn't know if it was coming from the end of the room or right behind me. "Are you entertained?" It repeated over and over again. "Are you entertained?" Until I knew it was right behind me. I could hear it right next to my ear. "Are you entertained?" Then I woke up because
On the first day, I thought the email was faked. It looked like something he would do, but by the second day, I knew something was wrong. Something was off. By that time, he would be gloating about it, but he wasn't, so I sent him a reply email saying, oh, okay,
aha, very funny. Just so you know, I wasn't scared at all. P.S. Work on your grammar.
I got a reply from him the next day simply reading, Straw Man.
Still thinking this was a joke, I went to his house. I knocked on the door. Nothing happened. I knocked again. Am I audible?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Is my audio bad?
No, you're
Okay.
good.
I knocked on this door. Nothing happened. I knocked again. Still nothing, and his curtains were closed so I couldn't peer inside. After an hour, I called the police. They arrived and busted down the door after 30 minutes of pointless knocking. As the door fell to the floor, I noticed a man just turning the corner into the next room. Whoop. Let's see. We ran after him. As we rounded the corner, he wasn't there anymore. As the cops continued to search the house, my attention was turned to a room. In the 6 years that I had been coming to his house, I never noticed this room. It looked half-finished with a laptop sitting in the middle of the floor, so I entered. The door vanished. I'm using the laptop to write this. I've been locked in here for hours. I don't know how many, because my watch stopped at 12 o'clock. I would go into more detail, but a small door just appeared at the end of the room. Yeah.
That wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but like...
It was more just... It was the worst sin you can have for a story, which is just kind of dull.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have we ever looked at Barbie.eav?
At what?
I'm trying to think, like... what ones we have and haven't done. Actually, one I remember, it's always been stuck in my head. It should be a bit shorter. But it's kind of dumb, so we might get a laugh out of it.
Okay. What's it called?
It's the GIF.
The GIF? Okay. It's real short.
Should be under G's.
Yeah.
You open it up, is it short?
Yeah, it's real short, so we'll have time for like maybe one more after this.
I still hate that fucking picture.
It looks dumb.
It's dumb, but in a way that makes, like, there is just something about the way it's been photoshopped that makes me uncomfortable. I don't know. There's something about, like, shoddy photoshops where you take a drawing and then you put human eyes on it that just always kind of, like, But, you know what I mean? It's that, like, uncanny valley thing.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like, it's just weird. I don't find it like uncomfortable or anything. It's just like, Oh yeah, they put eyes and face on human thing. Okay, cool. If I wanted to see anything like that, I could just like watch Amazing World of Gumball.
I mean, or Misadventures of Flapjack. They did that. Yeah.
Misadventures of Flapjack was just kind of an acid trip, just anyway.
Yeah.
I'm 38 years old.
I will say Gumball is like legitimately good whenever it's on top of its game.
It's not
Like,
terrible. It's pretty decent.
It's one of those that like when it knows what it's doing, it's good.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they can tell a story
like
pretty
it does
well.
good work character wise. A lot of the episodes have some like pretty solid writing.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, though, more cursed than this image, I would say, is the roleplay that has started in the chat.
It's only
just
cursed
because
if you
it's
make it that
roleplay.
way.
Just because it's text roleplay. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, I'll fucking start it once I type this out. Whoop, toop, doop, doop, shoop. There we go. The GIF. Or GIF. If you try to correct me on my pronunciation, you can go fuck yourself.
The GIF there.
The peanut butter.
Yes.
On March 12th, 2007, on the /B board of 4chan. Now, that was your first mistake. Going on /B. An anonymous user posted a peanut butter image. First glance, strangely, the peanut butter image wasn't animated. It was titled, "I'm happy. Peanut butter."
I'm glad we're going with this.
And showed what appeared to be a drawing of a smiley face, only with realistic-looking eyes and mouth. People who clicked on it saw the smiley face slowly turn into a frown and the eyes take on an angrier appearance. Oh, this was a lot shorter than I thought.
Oh yeah, so you don't show a picture of the angry face. Well, that's fine.
Well, no, it's because of what happened when you saw the angry face.
The smiley face.
Okay, the fucking ad on the side just like switched to something else in the corner of my vision. I was like, wait, did they actually animate the smiley face to do a thing?
It'd be better if they did. The smiley face would then scream loudly, loud enough to burst eardrums, and gruesome images of rapes, bomb test victims, aborted fetuses, mutilated bodies, and animals being tortured flash by quickly. After about 5 minutes, it would show the text, "Have a nice day." Sick.
Citation needed.
Citation needed. Okay. And the user's computer would automatically close out of the browser and would stop working, as if a virus had corrupted the hard drive.
As if a virus. Weird. But yeah, I'm pretty sure sick means... No, not sick semper tyrannis! No, just Latin adverb sick inserted after a quote in word or passage to indicate that the quoted matter has been transcribed or translated exactly as found in source text. Okay. Complete with any erroneous, archaic, or otherwise non-standard spelling. Okay, I always thought that meant citation needed. Apologies. People whose computers were infected would shortly be found in their homes, skinned and mutilated, with a smiley face painted in blood on the floor next to the corpses. The founder of 4chan, Moot, would always claim that the picture never existed and the murders were unrelated. However, somewhere on the archives the picture still exists. Most people who attempt to post it are usually swiftly banned by Moot. Yeah, not very scary. But I'm gonna have to fucking bookmark that one so I can put it in. And that was much shorter than I thought. I think the thing is that the picture gets me more than the story for the simple reason that the best way I can put it is it feels like that this might just be a me thing. I'm also someone who like has this same issue whenever I look in the fucking mirror. But it feels like it's gonna start moving. Or like it feels like when you're not quite focusing on it that it is slightly moving is the best way I can put it. And that kind of makes that creepier than the story itself.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay,
that's the best way I can put it.
I found one that's not super long, but it's not as short as the last couple we've read. If we want to finish it out this way,
Title?
It's called Midnight City.
Okay, so this is going to be M. Also, fucking top of the front page, I just see crabs. Crabs?
Crabs?
I'm Crab Man. I get
I'm
in
the
the ring and I
crab
start
man.
throwing crabs.
Oh, look, there's a
Then I
popular
start
page.
eating the crabs.
Oh, there's a popular page. Squidward suicide. I guess that's the thing that happened.
No, that's one of those fucking that's a lost episode creepypasta.
Ah, okay.
I think we've talked about it before. Or
Maybe.
it
I
might have
don't.
been me and Zane. It might
I
have been
think
me
it
and
was
Zane.
you. I think it was you and Zane. We've talked about it.
All right, Midnight City. Does it say who this was written by? What the fuck was
Let
that
me scroll.
image? It does
It's
not.
from M8 band. It does not say who it's written by, but it's like I know. There's a song called Midnight City by a band called M83 or M83. I don't know how you say that.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I like their stuff, and the image is kind of creepy. Yeah.
We Midnight City.
Hang on.
I know that's not what it is. My immediate just. I'm being a dumb here. Let me be a dumb.
Well, it's getting to be pudding brain hours, so.
We Midnight City on. Anyway, uh, let's start this.
Okay.
Oh, apparently Ichitan is responding to your pouting.
Yeah.
June 15th, 2012. I work in an office with 12 other employees. It sucks. I'm telling you, there's nothing worse than having a douchebag boss and 11 useless people at a job that you have to go to every day. The layout is horrible too. For example, there's a desk across from the only bathroom that has a toilet prone to clogging up.
There's also an employees lounge, which is basically a kitchen with the constant smell of burning popcorn. I've been to a place like that.
Fucking hell.
Two of the cubicles are actually two tables big enough for a monitor and printer, even though we all have telephones. Most of the chairs don't roll, and the floor is covered by beige carpet that originally used to be white. Oh, you can see why my days leave me pissed off. Nobody ever works. In fact, almost none of them do. They're always procrastinating on Reddit or Facebook, whatever.
I mean, in my experience, is always a smoke break.
Mm.
I'm gonna take a smoke break. We're in the middle of a rush. Actually, now that I think about it, there's one guy there who never procrastinates. He's a really hard worker who gets his stuff done. His name's Tobias. Tobias's cubicle is connected to mine, and usually, once he gets his work done, he pokes his head over the short wall and starts small talking with me. He's a nice young guy who always calls everyone sir or madam. This sort of stuff usually flatters everyone.
You know, it's weird that I talk about others procrastinating writing this on the notepad program computer. I have a new interest in updating things, and keeping a diary is a way of filling that interest. I'll keep this updated every day from now on. That's a good way to start it.
June 16th, 2012. Something weird happened today. Tobias didn't make small talk. I assumed he just didn't feel like it, but when I peered over the wall, he was actually working. That's two weird things. One, Tobias didn't make small talk. Two, the reason he didn't start a conversation was because he was still working even though he should be finished by then. He decided not to interfere, thinking he just fell behind on something and he was focusing.
Well, that's always a good thing. Maybe they're changing their work ethic up.
By being slower?
Or doing more and playing catch up. I don't know.
That sounds awful.
June 17th, 2012. So everyone listens to Pandora here. It's not against the rules. As long as you work, however, which no one ever does except Tobias. Speaking of him, he does another weird thing. He's listening to Pandora even though he never does. He's always thought it was a waste of time. As I'm looking over the wall, he looks towards me, headphones still on, except he looks weird, as if he hasn't had any sleep.
His eyes are bloodshot, with dark circles under them. His face is droopy, and crust is at his eyes. He has greasy hair, too, like he hasn't taken a shower. I'm both disgusted and weirded out by this. I look at his computer screen. It was on Pandora. A song was playing by M83 with the album cover above it labeled M83 Midnight City. It had a dark blue background with a grotesque creature as the main focus. It seemed like a humanoid with giant eyes that looked like a fly's. To top it off, had a long trunk-like nose at the end of its face, and it seemed to be smiling in a weird way. After seeing all of this, Tobias is still looking at me with a blank, droopy face. So I'd talk to him and say,
Hey, Tobias, what's wrong?
He then opens his mouth, faint smack as it opens, as if his saliva was gooey, like normally in the morning. Says, I'm sorry, sir. Just feeling a little down today, you know?
This is horribly strange. Tobias was always happy and energetic, ready to get the day started, you know? I turn away and continue typing this as he goes back to his computer.
Depressive episode, maybe? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
June 18th, 2012. So I was working today, and I was about to place an entry in this diary when Tobias pokes his head over the cubicle wall. If you thought yesterday was weird, just wait. I opened Notepad up when Tobias looked at me with redder eyes, darker circles. Okay. A droopier face and greasier hair. He tilted his head and spoke up. And I spoke up. Tobias, seriously, what's gotten into you? You look horrible, I said.
Yeah, just what I was gonna say. The image that says M83 Midnight City with the monster on it was, I think, the picture for their single, and that was the actual album cover. Either that or that was the limited edition, collector's edition, so and so, whatever.
Okay.
I'm sorry, sir.
I just like looking at it.
I'm sorry, sir. Just feeling a little down today, you know? I turned away and started typing this as I went back to his computer.
June 19th, 2012. Munched down, writing this, typing this. I'm focusing. I don't want any distraction. Till I look up. I peek over the wall to see his screen. On Pandora, no other tabs, playing the same song by M83. Except this time the album cover looks different. Leave me alone, phone. The creature is facing the viewer, still smiling, almost as if it knows something you don't. The background is white, and the creature's eyes look as if they follow you. Am I audible?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. Thing is, instead of a song, there's loud buzzing. A million flies in them. Which apparently doesn't bother any of the other employees.
I don't like this.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's when I realize it. I look around. I see no other employees. Nothing. I turn my head back and notice Tobias staring straight at me, smiling as if he knows something I don't. I reach down with my hand slowly towards my phone, not taking my eyes off of Tobias. His eyes seem glowing, almost like the redness of them radiating outward. Anyways, I'm lowering my hand down when I feel my desk. My telephone isn't there anymore. I'm looking at Tobias when I say, Tobias? What's going on?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm just feeling a little down today, you know.
It's that same damn response 3 times in a row. He stands up, pointing at me, making buzzing sounds. Some lights in the office start to go out, and I run, making turns in the hallway, but Tobias is taking his time, slowly walking after me as he continues saying, I'm sorry, sir. Just feeling a little down today, you know?
Eventually, I reach the end of the hall. The door leading to the stairwell locked. I see Tobias in the distance, turning around the corner, looking for something to fight him off. I can see a fire extinguisher on the wall. I yank it off, remove the safety pin, and just as he gets close, I let loose with the extinguisher, making him stumble and cough. Use the window opportunity to tackle him down and run into the dim office with all the lights off. What, you didn't hit him with the fire extinguisher?
No, he just sprayed him.
I noticed that you do a spray and smash.
Yeah. I can barely see anything, and I hear Tobias somewhere behind me yelling his trademark response. I stumble and trip over random pieces of furniture. Damn it, it's so dark. If only we had windows in this crappy office.
See the doorway to the lounge. I run in, and I'm turning over drawers and cabinets, searching for a weapon. Then I see it. A kitchen knife. It'll have to do.
As if on cue, Tobias walks through the doorway, his red eyes illuminating the dimness of the place. He gets closer, and with a huge blast of adrenaline, I charge at him, tackling him down. I have him pinned, knife raised in one hand, ready to impale him with.
I scream and shut my eyes as I shove the knife into his chest. He looks at me with pained eyes, the buzzing getting quieter from his computer and his red eyes fading until they look normal, still holding the knife in his chest. Pained, real eyes, he says, "Sorry, sir. You look a little down today, you know?"
I yell again, shut my eyes, and pull the knife out of his chest, finishing him off.
My clothes are disheveled, sweating. Strangely, Tobias's eyes are closed, his body cold and limp. I get off from my mounted position, set the knife on the counter, and walk through the doorway, breathing heavily.
All of the lights are on. The employees are back and still working like nothing ever happened. I look back. Tobias's body and the knife are gone. I walk to my cubicle. The one next to me is empty. I ask another guy next to me, "Hey, where's Tobias?"
"Who's he?" he replies.
I wave it off and sit down. As I am typing this, I want everybody reading this to take it seriously. If you're on Pandora and you stumble across a song with that same album cover and the creature seems to be looking at you instead of off into the distance, exit the browser, restart your computer, something. Just don't listen to the buzzing.
So, I have notes. Here's
Yeah.
my thing. Here's my thing. This would have been better if they didn't use an actual existing song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's my thing.
The whole thing with this is it has a good. It's just I don't know if it is the actual song that it's using or whatever, but
because you know what this feels like?
Like
this feels like someone saw the album cover. It kind of spooked them. Maybe it kind of ended up reaching deeper consciousness and had a bit of a nightmare about it.
Mm-hmm.
That happens. Something innocuous that fucking spooks you, you get a nightmare about it.
Oh yeah, no, I get that.
They decided to write about that. They decided to use that as inspiration for writing a creepypasta. Ooh, I got an idea. But one, it seemed kind of unfocused, is the best way I can put it.
Yeah, it was unfocused. It feels like a rough draft.
The starting out was all right. It's this final part that's what is this?
Yeah, it's
it feels, that final part feels disconnected.
It does. And I mean, maybe they were trying to go for trying to make it feel dreamlike, disorienting or something like that, but at the same time they probably could have done it a little bit more effectively in certain situations. Again, not a bad story by any means, it just probably could have been better. I feel like this was a rough draft, honestly, rather than a final copy.
I mean, at least it maybe didn't do the thing of, oh, it turns out he was crazy, which I felt like that's what it was going towards, and it was going to be what the fuck, man? Why did you kill Tobias? We just saw you suddenly sprint off, and Tobias was go, shit, I'm gonna make sure he's okay. And then you fucking killed Tobias. That's what it felt like it was going towards, honestly.
I didn't feel like that, but then again, I'm not as well versed in horror stuff, so.
That's what it felt like it was going to. Again, that's that's the same thing of how I was able to keep calling the twists and all those fucking Lovecraft stories. It's because okay, typical horror writer is gonna do this. That's I know the tropes, and so Zane just fucking popped in. But yeah, I know the tropes, and so it's the whole thing of okay, this feels like it's leading up to this. it maybe didn't do that. Maybe he just entirely hallucinated Tobias.
Or possibly there was a Tobias, and it's just he was, and when he killed him, it's like he just
Consumed
ceased
by
to
a
exist.
song.
Yeah, something like that, or some other
Which
entity, the Buzzin or whatever.
Again, like, if you want to do, like, weird Eldritch song thing, I feel like it's better to not use a pre-existing song.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah, but I think one of the things that would have had to, it's like, just with the like possibly if they had come up with their own song, they probably would have either had to make their own picture or done something else. And average creepypasta user is probably someone who doesn't have access to that sort of technology or something like that. So they're just like, okay,
I
I'm
guess
just going to
not
use.
everybody's Cosby Diff.
Mm-hmm. And
apologies if I'm mispronouncing that, but
yeah, but like that's one of those things. It's like I think again, it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not good either. It's just kind of meh.
Again, it's kind of like that whole thing with the straw man. It's kind of dull.
Was a little dull, but it was enough to hold my attention just because, okay, yeah, this is interesting.
I think the beginning was better. Like,
Mhm.
it's this last one where it kind of, like, trips.
Yeah.
Because
and
it's
at the
like,
same
okay,
time,
where, like, my brain was like, okay, this is going to be a dream, or this is going to fucking be hallucination and he's actually crazy, or...
Mhm.
Like, my brain was just like, okay, how are you, what's the gotcha? What's the gotcha moment?
Mhm.
Like, it was building towards a gotcha moment, and it had a gotcha moment. It was just, it wasn't a very good gotcha moment.
Yeah. It wasn't
At
great.
very least, it didn't have, like, the same punch. I don't know. Well, like, it feels like it could have. It feels like it could have done better, but my brain is kind of just trying to have. My brain's like trying to figure out how to do this better, and that's the issue.
Yeah. No, and that's
Because
one of
again,
the. I think.
immediate thought is don't use a real song. Have it like
Yeah, but
never heard of this song,
another
or
thing
something
that's
like that.
yeah, another thing that's kind of really going through my head with stuff like this person's probably an inexperienced writer and probably
Yeah.
doesn't do the whole doesn't write like a whole lot and is possibly like, oh, I don't need to edit and do a second draft or anything like
Yeah.
that. And like again, probably marks of an amateur writer. This person like probably a younger writer too.
Yeah.
So
Which
uh,
again, not trying to shit on this guy or anything. Like we
no,
are
yeah,
trying to.
no, we're it's stuff like that. But like it's just what you're talking about. Yeah, it makes sense, but at the same time, it's like kind of this pitfalls that amateur writers do fall into,
Yeah.
rather than trying to find their own kind of
Yeah.
twist on certain things. It's like
And
they're still trying to find a voice, I suppose.
that is one of those whole things. One of the greatest pieces of like writing advice I ever heard is that there are three options when it comes to writing. There's
Mhm.
what most people will do. There's
Mhm.
what some people will do, and then
Mhm.
there's what only you would do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't try to just like go with what other people would write. Go
And
with something that like sticks out.
yeah, and at the same
Like,
time, you don't have to do something that just you would do because, well, as I can kind of
well,
attest, following my own thought patterns, it's kind of hard to follow certain things like that and everything. But like,
but it's a whole thing of, especially with like either horror or comedy, you want to, because again, horror and comedy, they are both built off of the unknown.
mm-hmm.
So the best way, like you need, like with both horror and comedy, you need to like pull something that like they weren't, like readers would not be expecting.
Yeah, but in the same token, there are building blocks for like different and stuff like, okay, this is what some people have done. So what you can do, like when you're finding your own voice, is take a classic trope and put your own spin on it. Like the old trope of like, oh, the pickpocket bumps into the person walking in the market and is either caught by the wiser hero or whatever, or gets away with certain things, and then the hero like reaches down to their belt and like finds that their pouch is gone. Like do something along the lines of like, oh, so the swift pickpocket bumps into this one guy, steals his wallet, and the one guy who is the hero or whatever is like, hey, this is awesome. I'm looking for someone like like what talent you have, rather than confronting the thief as a thief or like just finding out later and then having to hunt them down later and stuff. So
yeah, and this is also a whole thing. This isn't like a tropes are bad thing. It's tropes when done in an unimaginative way are bad.
Mhm.
For instance, like hell, you want to have like an interesting cold open. The mugging the monster moment is often an interesting way to like introduce a thing.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I'm referring to?
I think so. Refresh my memory.
Basically, like the mugging the monster moment is when someone who would typically be a bad guy of sorts, like tries to do something to someone, catches someone unawares and tries to do something. So this would be like again, like as the name would imply, like back alley mugging is like a good example of this.
Mhm.
Immortal Hulk did a great version of this, honestly. But basically, what it turns out is that whoever they're targeting is much, much worse than they are.
Mhm.
Again, Immortal Hulk did a great example of this in like the first issue, I believe, in which a man holds up a convenience store that Bruce Banner is currently at.
Hmm.
Bruce Banner and a small child both get like shot and killed.
Mhm.
And then as the whole thing with Immortal Hulk is in this one, he keeps coming, like gamma irradiated people aren't dying permanently. They keep coming back.
Hmm.
And so that night, he comes back as Devil Hulk and finds the guy.
Ah.
And it's just like, you suddenly see like this, like you see the guy like going through like the stuff he got like from robbing the convenience store. And
Mhm.
then all of a sudden, like, just this brutish version of the Hulk is just looming over him. And with just one line of like, her name was Lucy. Or, I can't remember the kid's name, but it was like he fucking name drops the kid, and you have this immediate like, oh,
Mhm.
this is the Hulk we're dealing with.
Mhm.
Like that sort of thing. The mugging the monster moment is something that you can use, like depending on your stories, is like a good way to like introduce something. Hell, even in a way that doesn't directly involve like main characters. Like you want to introduce like a villain coming to town, a mugging the monster moment is a good way to do that.
Mhm.
Like, oh, you have like the local pickpocket deciding to go after like, oh, there's a new guy in town. He's probably pretty unfamiliar. I'm pretty sure that I could catch him off guard. And then the fucking pickpocket just ends up in several pieces scattered across a back alley.
Mhm.
Like, there are different ways to do things. Like mugging monster isn't relevant to this. But
Yeah. Well, we're just giving
the
kind of
point
examples and stuff.
is like don't go with like what every other story of the type goes with. Like figure out something that works with the story but is also unique enough to catch people off guard.
Mhm.
Like, and so that was the whole thing of like the fucking delivery at the end was just kind of meh.
Yeah. Could have been better, but could have been a whole lot worse. So,
Yes.
but anyway, we've
Yeah.
been recording for a
Anyway.
little bit over an hour now. So,
Yeah. So now we can. But yeah. So of course, links to all of these are going to be in the description. Uh, No ill will meant towards any of the writers, especially not Cosby. To fucking hell, I didn't realize that he was the person who wrote that one.
Small world, ain't it?
Yeah, but yeah. Special thank you to Summer Moon Soldier and Destiny Baird for supporting us on Patreon. If you like what we do, then consider going down to that link in the description and pledging any amount of money you want towards us. Every little bit helps. And if you don't want to send us money, then but still want to help us out, then, you know, the usual YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. You know, interaction helps.
Yep, it certainly does. And well, just even just small things like viewing the video are big help for everything. So.
Yeah. So, this,
Thanks.
of course, is the 2020 Spooptober Pastathon.
Lovely, 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 lovely. Happy Spooptober, everyone.
Woo.
You have a good one.